Jesus saith unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me.
Hello and welcome back to Humble Not Timid. I appreciate y'all again. And like, subscribe, share the channel, get that out the way. Appreciate y'all. But so we've been doing a lot of politics, different things like that, but for those who don't know, I am a Christian man. I do believe in God, and I believe in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I decided to do this channel. I'll tell you at the end of the channel exactly why. But I decided to do this episode, shall I say, because those of us who are believers in Jesus, those of us who do believe in our Christ, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have seen it and different things like that. We come across, there's people out there who believe that they're Jesus, and not that the spirit is within them or anything like that, but that they actually walk this earth and they consider themselves to be the Messiah. Now, I personally do not believe any of them are. I have not seen anything that gives me any evidence of such a way or any kind of feeling in my heart. And have I had the spirit tell me that that should be who I need to follow. But at the same time too, though, these people have followers or whatnot. Now, I don't know. I leave that to certain people and their decisions in life on what they want to do. But I decided to do this episode kind of like a recap. A lot of folks they got their own, there's plenty of videos and people and episodes of people out there doing that. I just decided to make my own. And like I said, I'll tell you at the end of this video exactly why I decided to do this one. But, with that being said, let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and jump into this episode. And this is going to be called The False Prophet. Thank you for joining. Let's go ahead and jump into this. Humble Not Timid. Another voice, another choice.
Getting mad at me, player, but they taking my place. And I'm a misbreed, homie, so they hate my race. Or maybe I'm just ugly, so they hate my face. Either way it go, homie, take the hating away. Now I'm suited in my armor and I'm just ready to play. So now put me in coach, cause I'm just ready to play. See, I told y'all I ain't going nowhere. I told y'all I'm right here, right here. I told y'all
And then, finally, it was time for us to get our first glimpse of the teacher himself. Any moment now, Visarion's going to descend from the stairs and address everyone here. And as you can see, everyone's eagerly anticipating it. I have no doubt in my mind that they believe he is God. And it's interesting and kind of scary to see so many people have so much faith in one man or God. We had
So yeah, I mean that's just a little majestic there. He walks out all slow. But whatever. But it amazes me because you remember drink the Kool-Aid, don't drink the Kool-Aid. But it amazes me how some of these people, and so it's one thing for them to think away, but then they're able to get the masses, like some of these people got a lot, like this one here, Mr. Visarion, he's supposed to have at one point like 10,000 people following him. That's like a little mini army. That's a good little squad to have following you. And when people get to following you like that, and they go live out in the woods with you and everything, they're probably willing to do some things for you. Especially if they believe in you, the divine. But me myself, I just a little amazed at it and whatnot. And I give it to these people in the interview that are going out there to actually, find out these type of things. But they did a little interview with him and try to pick his brain about a few little things.
He's the Son of God without coming out and saying it. You're very Christ-like in your appearance. I'll say it this way. Do you have memories of Christ from 2,000 years ago? Do you carry on in that way, in that lineage?
Что есть память чувственная и есть память сознания. Сохранять тело с характерным сознанием нет смысла, потому что это характерное формируется благоприятно для сознания своего времени, когда нужно в каком-то теле появиться на Земле. А так как появление на Земле не требуется делать очень часто, а будут большие интервалы.
That's probably...
So, like what he say, he said it without saying it. I don't know. I couldn't fall for it. This is why you really need to stay in your word. You need to stay in your word. You need to study your word. And I'm not no master. I ain't your preacher. I ain't your teacher. I ain't none of that. And I ain't no master in nothing. May God watch over my soul and my family. But at the same time, too, though, you need to be in your word so that you can actually compare that to what it is that's in front of you, so you can at least have some kind of ground there, to let you know what you're looking at. Don't just go off of the feelings and, they make me feel good. Like, really study the thing, and have some ground underneath you, But it amazes me. It amazes me on how these people can even go into this like this. But keep your eyes open. Keep your heart open to God, and God will guide you straight. I truly believe that. None of us are perfect. He'll guide us to whatever we need to get to, and then he'll give us the truth, as long as that's what you're really trying to search for. So I actually went and looked it up. So because I knew I could remember that I remembered there was some kind of an end there. So then I went and looked it up, and they did ended up arresting the man. There's more to it or whatnot, but they did end up arresting him, and I guess he had his little own secrets. Just like a lot of these folks. It's funny to me how a lot of these people be like living in compounds, and they always got to take these people away and put them in a little isolated area. And if they try to isolate you like that, you be careful. There's one thing going on a retreat. It's a whole nother thing you going out there to just disappear with life and whatnot. But so they did. I'm gonna show you a quick little clip about that. And they did end up arresting him. And there's more that you can go and find out about the whole story or whatnot. But he's not the last on our list either. But I'm gonna show you this little clip, and then we'll come right back. Okay, I appreciate y'all.
Бога. Он живое слово.
They lived in a peaceful isolation in Siberia until security forces stormed their community and arrested its leader, Vissarion. Former members reveal the sect was hiding dark secrets.
Были глупости, были гибели взрослых и детей в результате неоказания медицинской помощи.
And say its guru isn't who he says he is.
Конечно, обманывал. А как это? Конечно, обманывал. Я считаю, что он воспользовался просто людьми.
So who is the real Vissarion?
Yeah, so that's crazy right there. It's just, I guess eventually, it's going to catch up with you. Nobody's perfect, but these people take it to a whole nother level, and you got to be careful. You got to be real, real careful. One thing to be super preacher and do your preaching thing. That's another thing when you start saying you is Jesus or you are God. Be careful when you're talking to me like that, because we're going to have a conversation about it. Well, the next one that I got on my list right now is I'm going to just do a little quick clip on this guy because he's already, come and gone in life. And his name was Mitsu. I don't even know if I got to pronounce these right. It's Miso Matsuyoshi. He was born in 1944 and he passed away back in 2018. Okay. Now, he claimed to be the only God, the one true God. He was a Japanese political activist throughout his lifetime. And he actually tried to run for a few different offices, and he ran off of the fact that, he was God and he was going to set everything straight, and take care of his people and whatnot. And then he was born in Okinawa. He was actually educated as a Protestant preacher and influenced by eschatology. Okay. Now, you got to go look that up a little bit because it's kind of a whole nother little philosophy of its own. I really tell you, don't even look it up, but whatever. Okay. And then in 1997, he established the World Economic Community Party. Okay. And within that community party, they believe that he is God. So once again, this is another, evidence of how these guys can get followers, which kills me. It kills me. Because, if I walked up and told you I was God, what are you going to do? You're going to be like, we need to go ahead and start calling these people on this, man. We need to call these people. We need to help them out a little bit, And I hope you would, slap me in my face or something, tell me, look, boy, you're tripping. You're tripping, There's only one true God, and we worship him. We're not him. The spirit might lay within you, but we are not him. Okay. But I'm going to go ahead and let you check this little clip out real quick. How y'all doing once again? I'm glad that y'all are watching, and I hope that you've been enjoying the video so far. So right now what I wanted to do is I wanted to give a shout out to everybody who's been helping me and supporting and giving good advice, giving feedback, and I really am one of them people that will take your advice, and whether I use it or not, it doesn't matter, because in the end what it does is it does help me critique my channel and critique the way that I do things. So I do appreciate y'all. Everybody has their own opinion on things. I don't knock it. It is what it is. Now, I will try to keep true to what I decided to do with the channel, but at the same time, too, though, we are here to give a platform for everybody to speak their voice and, have their opportunity to say what they want to say. But I do have a request of y'all, and what I do is ask y'all to go ahead and check out the merchandise. You can get one of these little hoodies over here. They are pretty good hoodies. They're actually, when I got the first one, I really wasn't actually, I was kind of worried about how the material was going to come out, but it's pretty good. It's pretty, keeps you warm. It's just thick enough to keep you warm. You can wear it as a top layer in the winter, and it's not too thick that you can wear it during the summertime, you know what I'm saying, and still sport it. Humble Not Timid. I'll leave the links in the descriptions down in the channel. And I got different designs, different things like that, just so y'all can help out and help support the channel. I have other different items as well. Like, we have these little candles and stuff. They're frosted scented candles. I do like them. They come with a little wood top, whatnot. And you can see I already burnt this one down. Pretty good too. But they got the wood wicks with them. I've actually burnt this one for a while, so it actually lasted. It's almost time to get another one. But those will be on the link as well. You can hit the link, check those out. I got different items as well. I got like mouse pads, you know what I'm saying? You can check them out and, sport your little mouse pad, sport your Humble Not Timid merchandise, in your workplace or whatnot. And I'm gonna have more. I'm gonna put more on there as we keep on going. It's all a process. So I just started this, and once again, I do thank y'all. I appreciate your support. Bear with me as I grow and I get better at this. You know what I'm saying? I thank y'all, and go ahead and once again, like, subscribe, share the channel. It does help us grow. Well, I'm not actually allowed to promote the channel right now in certain avenues for certain reasons, but at the same time too, though, everything that y'all do and everything y'all like and share and comment on, I appreciate y'all very much. Okay, so once again, Humble Not Timid. It's time to get back to the show. Thank you very much. Y'all stay tuned.
3. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days, and long life, and peace, shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee, bind them about thy neck, write them upon the table of thine heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thine own eyes, fear the Lord, and depart from evil. It shall be health to thy navel, and marrow to thy bones. Honor the Lord with thy substance, and with the firstfruits of all thine increase. So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with new wine. My son, despise not the chastening.
Da humanidade! Eu repreendo o seu espírito imundo que vive aí dentro. Você não é Cristo coisa nenhuma. É aquele Cristo falso que Jesus disse: virão muitos em meu nome.
É isso que tu queres? Queres que eu repita a mesma coisa?
Now, that was just a quick little clip right there of a man who went by the name of Henry Cristo. He was a waiter. He took the initials. From when I was reading and studied about him, he took the initials. I actually came across his like a while back. I never had actually looked into it like deep, but then I went and kind of looked up a little bit of it about it because I hadn't remembered it. And then I looked up a little bit about him or whatnot. And then I found out that he took the initials INRS, which was the initials that Pontius Pilate inscribed on the cross. Okay, so that's how he took that. And he goes by the nickname or by the name Henry Cristo, But he was born Alvaro Thesis, I believe that's how his name is pronounced properly. And he was actually a Catholic, and then he was a Catholic. He went to being an atheist, and then around 1970, he get transformed into Jesus. So, but that was just a quick little one right there that I decided to give y'all because I remembered that guy, Now this one here coming up next is he's one I came across a few years ago, and he amazed me too because like he's got a whole following, and in doing research for this video, I remember coming across him like a few years ago. Like literally, he was one of the big ones that had made me feel like, man, like what's this going on? Like, are you serious? Like I was really waiting to hear the story of somebody coming out and being just poisoned to death or whatever, or whatever. But he goes by, his name was Alan John Miller, and he actually has I don't think it's his wife. They got her down as like his partner, but pretty much his wife, And then they had started a church called the Divine Truth, and like literally, like it's just crazy to me. But he comes from Queensland, Australia, and his partner's name was Mary Susan Luck. Okay, so they kind of partnered together, and this guy here, like he's really got a whole indoctrination type of thing going on. Like it's one thing to preach the gospel, but I mean, like when he's going around talking about he is Christ and he is Jesus, and he's trying to preach from that authority that he is versus, I'm teaching you about, or I'm explaining to you about who this was or who this is, because he is a living God and he sits on the right hand of the Father right now. But at the same time too, though, you're not him, buddy. But yeah, I'm going to let you check this one out real quick.
A Waco Davidian group, which were two groups that ended tragically in mass suicide. This is when groups become the most extreme because the leader controls everything.
The leader is this man.
My name's Alan John Miller, but I'm actually Jesus. I remember all of the events of my crucifixion. I understood what was going on. I understood the reason for my death.
And he's collecting disciples. Miller has convinced them that they were with him at his crucifixion.
Just went to get the spike and smash it into his hands, and just so much love that came from him, so I couldn't do it.
It was excruciating to watch basically the annihilation of the person that I love the most.
Whenever I think about him now, I just cry. I'm starting to have a soul, like an emotional realization of who he is.
So yeah, so that's Mr. John Miller there, or Alan John Miller. But yeah, I came across his story a few years ago, and I was like, man, like this guy, I forgot who it was that did a full documentary on him like that. But this guy here, he does a pretty good interview on here too with this 7 Spot. But yeah, man, like this guy here really, you see how he even got these people. He's telling these people like, hey, look, yeah, you was the guy that was putting the nails in my, and not only in my Jesus, and I was getting crucified, and I remember, but you was actually the guy that was there that killed me. Because what he really he has a reincarnation mentality, okay, and I know he's taken a little bit of the word and he's twisted it in a certain way, because there's certain things in there. And so what he's doing is he's convincing people that they are reincarnated from the time of when this happened. And this is how he's building his disciples. So, you got to really be in your word, and you got to understand certain things in order to defend yourself and defend your mind and your spirituality against this type of stuff, because these people are real slick at what they do. And, and I wonder sometimes if some of them actually believe it, or if they really just know that they're that twisted, and they got a God complex and they're just trying to play something now. But Mr. Miller, though, he actually has what was it? He was actually a Jehovah's Witness, and around the age 40 is when he had his transformation from Jehovah's Witness to being Jesus, And he believes in his own reincarnation. Like I said, he has a reincarnation mentality about it. He had died, came back, and now he's inside this man's body, which he didn't realize he was in that body until 40. But whatever. And then yeah, I'm not gonna get all into the. I got other notes on him, but I really don't want to promote the man like that. But he's just one of those that really just cracks me up, because he really goes in real deep, and he has these people really just believing him, believing that he is this guy. But I'm gonna let you check a piece of this interview that this man did with him, and he does pretty good, because he goes after him, and I like the way that he did go after him. Like, I mean, he wasn't joking. I'm like, are you really? Because I'm gonna, like I said, I'll leave the links down, and you need to watch the whole thing, because the whole thing is kind of crazy. But I forgot where it was, but they did a whole actual documentary on this man and his following. They actually had a church. They had a website, whatnot, and all that and everything. But I don't think they're actually there anymore. I don't know exactly what happened to them. I had to go try to see if I can find that. But I don't know exactly what happened to them. But I don't think they're there anymore because like the last post or whatever that I seen of them and doing the little research for this quick video was there like 4 years ago, something like that. So I don't know if something happened there. But I'll let you check this little piece out real quick though, and we'll be right back.
They're talking about the struggle, and just about everyone I talk to is on the verge of tears.
But you notice that I don't view it as a struggle.
Look at poor Alex.
Sorry?
That poor guy. He's just consumed
I agree
this
totally.
struggle.
He is. And I've talked to Alex many times about him allowing spirits to almost completely control his life.
I think you are at the early stages of becoming a cult leader.
Well, I don't see how I can be a cult leader when I ask everybody to actually engage their own desires.
You're on the way, AJ. You are beginning to gather all the means of control to yourself. You are the only source of knowledge within the group.
That's not true at all.
You are separating people away from their families.
No, I'm not.
How many people have I talked to? One of the questions I asked them was, what does your family think? Time after time, people are saying...
Now, David, read your Bible. What was said about me in the first century? You engage. Okay, what does it say Jesus did in the first century?
Yeah, that's right.
Say it.
Yeah, well, Jesus said that your greatest enemy would be your family.
Well, why do you think that I said that in the first century?
But that's not you, and you are not Jesus.
No, that's your opinion.
Now, you see, he called him out right then and there. You know, he told him straight up, man, you're at the beginning stages of building you a cult. And that's what it is. It's a cult. You know, but there's people who do this, and then you got people who do these things and that aren't looked at as crazy like this, because these people go into some extremes as isolating folks and doing whatnot. But then you got people who mismanage, or I guess would misinterpret word all the time in different ways. But some people do it knowingly and on purpose just to try to manipulate folks. You know, that's why you need to know the word for yourself. Yeah, I think there's really one important thing. That way you do not just succumb to whatever somebody says, you know. Now, God can speak to you in many different ways through many different people. You know, my wife calls it finding her donkey. You know, I understand what she means by that. It's scriptural. But, you know, God can speak to you and you'll never know what, through who, through what, and sometimes even through a false person. But there's a difference between hearing from God and then end up putting your whole life in these people's hands. So you got to be careful with those type of things. Okay. Like, seriously. But with that being said, these people do, and some of them I think do believe that they are this thing, and you need to be careful with the way those things come out. Now, with this next piece, this next one on my list, and this is going to be the last one for the video. There's other people out there. Y'all got to understand, this type of stuff has been going on for a very long time. Many people throughout all of history, there was even people before Jesus that claimed to be messiahs, you know. So for those of us who do believe, stay in your faith, stay in your word. But, you know, and for those of y'all who are seeking and searching, or might not know the whole truth, or believe it, or, you know, you're soul searching, you know, find somebody who actually understands the word, who's actually in the word, you know. And before that, and before most part anything, read the word yourself, so then that way you can ask God for his understanding, and he will give you an understanding if your heart truly is looking for it. I truly believe that. But this next guy on the list, though, he's the reason why I created this video, because I watched different content, and he had actually came across my news feed, which I don't even know how, but he came across my news feed, and I clicked on it, and I seen this interview that this young man did, and this young man went looking for him. Okay, So this is the man with 1 million followers. That's what they call him, the man with 1 million followers. So go ahead and check this one out.
Take it very seriously. You just feel the emotion on the people when they're bowing down to Jesus one by one. And now he's introducing all of his prophets.
I am Prophet Benjamin. Prophet Solomon. I'm Angel Lawi.
I'm Prophet Ruben.
I'm Angel Noah, the builder of the ark.
In today's world, perhaps it's not so crazy to think the second coming is upon us. Here, they believe the book of Revelation has come full circle. Jesus is now taking us inside of the church. How does it feel to be Jesus Christ?
He's very happy because it's the job of the Lord.
What is this book in your hand? What does it mean to you?
Umuhimu ni kwamba hiki kitabu kinaashiria.
He believes that people should follow this book according to how it's written because it guides human on what to follow.
When did you first realize that you're Jesus?
Wakati nilipokuwa mtoko,
he was at school when he was 10 years old and he felt he needed to draw a picture of the cross. So when he was drawing the cross, he felt like he left the world. And the voice of the Lord told him, "You are my son." When he was 12 years old, he was visited by thousands and thousands of angels at 3 in the morning, Son of God. And one of them said, "I am Angel Gabriel." When he left, another one came and said, "He's Angel Raphael." When Angel Miriam got there, she told him not to fear because he's doing the Lord's work.
How did you convince people that you're Jesus?
Haya yote yatatokana na Mungu mwenyewe. Mungu ndiye anaye.
So this is God is doing the work for him. He's not the one to convince people. It's God. Yes.
Oh, he didn't convince people.
No, it's God who's convincing. So God brought the nations to him. He's saying even us coming here was prophesied a long time ago.
How do you deal with haters or people that think that you're not the real Jesus?
Haya yote yatatokana na Mungu mwenyewe. Mungu ndiye anayesababisha.
He's saying he just pray to God to forgive them because they don't know they even crucified him 2,000 years ago. But God promised that he will make sure that the whole world knows that he's the Son of God.
Part of me wants to believe that Jesus is telling the truth. Just look at how fiercely everyone worships him.
Now, that was a documentary clip from Mr. Drew Binsky. And this is the Kenya Jesus. Okay, so this guy here, and they say he's the man with 1 million followers. 1 million followers. You got preachers and pastors that would kill to have 1 million followers, but he's got 1 million followers. Now his name is actually, see if I can pronounce this one right. Eliud Simu. Probably did not pronounce that no right. But he is from, what is that? Bugoma, Tungarian from Bugoma. Probably didn't pronounce that right either. Y'all forgive me for that. But yeah, he's from Kenya. Okay. So the funny thing is well, even with all the followers he's got, there's actually a few of the Christian community. There's reports of people who wanted to actually crucify him because they want to see him live up to the history of Jesus or to the glory of Jesus. You know, they want to crucify him, let him die for 3 days and see if he can come back. And if you come back, then you're real. So, you know, I mean, because it's crazy, you know, you're doing this, but even at that though, your life has to be on the line. So you got to be careful, you know, and I understand, you know, you see him in there, he sit there and he say, "Oh, well, the Lord's doing the work." You know, be careful who you're listening to. And it's right. You do need to pay attention to that book. And you need to listen to that book and, you know, read it and study it and get it inside your soul. But you also got to understand, too, though, that when Jesus went up to be tempted, the devil used word against him. So, you know, he's going to say, you know, the enemy is going to be like, "Oh, yeah, well, the Bible says, you know, but what did Jesus do? He said, "Yeah, but it is also written." So the enemy say, "Oh, is it not written?" And then you turn back around and you tell them, "Yeah, but it's also written." And you got to have your word. That's why it's called a sword. You got to learn how to use it like a sword, back and forth, back and forth. You got two sword fighters fighting. It ain't just one person swinging a sword. You don't have the sword swung back at you, so you got to know how to use it right. But yeah, this man here. But he was actually born in 1981, which makes him my age. You know what I mean? And then what was it I seen? I was studying it and I looked it up and. Okay, so like around 2008, there's a reported story that around 2008, I was looking through the different little notes. I guess he had actually had an encounter with one of the family members of it, and one of his own family members got hit across the head, and that was around the time when he started saying he was Jesus. So you got to be careful with these things. Now, and then they say that he had a miracle where he claimed to turn water into tea. And I kind of cracked up at that one because I was like, man, water into tea, man. Like, how come you couldn't even just, how come you couldn't make it wine? Jesus made it wine. He didn't turn it into tea. He made it into wine, but whatever. I guess tea is what we drinking. We're not doing no alcoholic drinks over here. But I'm gonna let you check this little clip out though real quick, and you can see a little bit of how Mr. Brinsky goes through. And I'm gonna put his link down there in the description too. And I do tell y'all should watch that one. That was a pretty cool little documentary that he does.
On the internet, people say they want to crucify you.
When you read the book of Hebrews, that is not good to crucify me.
So you don't want to be crucified?
That is not good. It happens when I was there in the Middle East.
So you don't want to happen again? But the police take you in the police station. People think that it was a cult. So the police arrested you.
They arrested me for 7 days. But when they investigate, they didn't care, and
they have no reason for you to be arrested.
They have no reason for me to be arrested.
If you could give one message to everyone in the world, what would you tell them?
I would like to tell them that I'm now back.
I never thought I would meet Jesus.
This is a fantastic day.
We got a crew of people following us. Everyone wants to see Jesus. How do you feel that everybody knows you?
That's good, and I'm happy because of that.
So far, everybody seems to really like him. They're like wanting to say hi.
Amina. Mungu bariki anapouza mambo ikuwe sawa. Amen. 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 Amen.
Is he the real Jesus?
I don't know, but otherwise I've been worshiping the God that I've never seen. So maybe it's the real Jesus because I've never seen God.
Amina.
How are you?
This is literally insane. There's like hundreds of people around here. Hello. I can't move.
Yeah, see, so I don't know, because watching this part of it makes me feel like, man, it's gotta be like some kind of little scam or something, like they did this, when he come around, it's like one of those, everybody know he crazy, hey, how you doing, whatever, but the real crazy thing to me about this is the fact that if you go and watch this documentary, you go watch this little piece that he did at the beginning of it, he tried to act like he can't speak no English. But then when they start walking through that village, all of a sudden, man, he speak English well enough to sit there and hold full conversations. So why'd you need the translator to begin with? And if you watch the whole little thing, the documentary that he does, even his translator at one point ends up, she falls back because, there's no need for you. This man speak English. So why'd you try to play it off at the beginning like you didn't speak no English? But whatever. And then you got to go watch it. At the end of it all, man, he ends up buying Jesus a goat. So it is what it is. But shout outs to Mr. Binsky there, because you did do a good job on that. But this was the one that came across my news feed that got me to, oh man, reminiscing about all these different people that I done came across in my studies and stuff throughout the years. So I was like, man, I guess I'm going to go ahead and do me a little episode on false prophets, you know. But I thank y'all for joining, and I thank you for, spending your time with me today. So stay in your word and pray to God to give you his understanding, not our own. And may God bless y'all all. And we'll be back with the politics next time. Humble Not Timid. Another voice, another choice.
Getting mad at me, player, but they ain't taking my place. And I'm a misbreed, homie, so they hate my race. Or maybe I'm just ugly, so they hate my face. Either way it go, homie, take the hating away. Now I'm suited in my armor and I'm just ready to play. So now put me in coach, cause I'm just ready to get. See, I'm so drunk, I ain't going nowhere. I'm so drunk, I'm right here, right here. I'm so
Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world? And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences, and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved.